All right, good evening. I certainly hope and pray that all is well. Hope that everyone's having a good day. So sometimes when I get the harassment, I'll wait a few days before I post or do a live or whatever. I don't always, like I said, I don't always even talk about it. Not every single time. I guess I've talked about it enough, okay? So you can see how often I get the shit. But I just got one and I was like, because I wanted to talk about something and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and talk about this now. So I have two TikToks. I have one where I just take clips of my tarot reading from my tarot channel and I post it on there and on Instagram. And then I have another one where I read poetry, which I'm really enjoying doing that because I haven't really delved into poetry in a long time. I haven't written any in a long time. I haven't looked at any of it in a long time. So I'm enjoying it. And I did a poem by, what's her name? Phyllis Wheatley. It was really good. I really liked it. I had never read any of her poetry before. So that was interesting to read and to see. But what I get is, if they don't bother me on here, you know, they'll wait a little while, but they're consistently throwing the black magic at my way. Especially when I sit down and do readings for my tarot channel. They'll do it on TikTok. So I got one yesterday where it said like the person liked the video. Look at their profile, it said like isn't available. I didn't think much of it. So I go to sit down and do my readings and I'm feeling pissies again. And then the other one, Bleedin, she is consistent and will not stop. And mind you, once again, I haven't talked to these people. I haven't talked to them in years. Years. So I get a like your video. I took a screenshot to show you. And the title was in all capitals, Evil Bitch. So I go to check out the first profile because TikTok, I wasn't a big fan of TikTok and I'm still not because I don't want to be like scrolling because, you know, no, I don't want to be sitting there all day doing that. So I just kind of post and keep on going. But I will sometimes when people like my videos, I will check out their profile. So I go to check it out. And what I was going to say is people got all kind of titles of their channels over there. It's just, I don't know. It's an interesting app. And, of course, like isn't available. And I was like, well, this ain't nobody but Bleedin Z. And the thing about it is, like I told you, because you're watching, if you stay out of my energy and leave me alone, nothing about you will come out. I don't know if you're mad about that Leo reading, if that was you. Only an evil bitch would do something like that, what you did. What is yes? What is no? Is today, what is today? It's today Wednesday, okay? Well, we know it's Wednesday. Okay. Is today Sunday? Okay, obviously it's not Sunday. Okay. The evil bitch person on TikTok that liked my video, was that Bleed Zarita? Yes. Honey, move, get over it. You are stuck in like a time warp or something. Was that supposed to make me think I'm an evil bitch? Okay, I'm not an evil bitch. I'm not. Okay? Never have been. Never was. Despite your lies, despite your harassment, despite your slandering me, despite your trying to set me up and talk about me, even for the years that you were around. Like I said, you've been doing that shit to me for years. I knew when I said it to you, someone is doing something to me, some kind of black magic to me or something like that, but I just don't know who it is. I said that to you, and here it is. It was you. You. Only an evil bitch would make a profile, call it evil bitch, and send it to somebody to fuck with them. Now, I want to say this real quick. Like, sometimes people be talking about this stuff, and they be saying how people who be harassing you and gang stalking you and all this evil shit, they be trying to distract you. You know, and, so they like don't say anything or whatever. Okay, well, I feel like as adults we can pick and choose our battles. We pick and choose what we want to speak to and not speak to. But I do think that we have the ability to multitask as well. I ain't saying nobody got to sit up there and yell and scream and holler, which is what people want. And I'm sure that's what Ms. Zarita wants. You're not going to get that from me. And if I were to do it, I can do what I want to do. I'm an adult. Like I stated before, these people with this want to try to get you to act a certain way so they can say, see, I told you. That's so elementary. That's so, I mean, human beings respond in a myriad of ways. If somebody gets mad or whatever because somebody's constantly poking them and harassing them to the point where they, maybe yell and scream, well, that would might be normal. Because after a while, for some people, that should get on their nerve. Leave me alone. Okay. So that's not proof of anything. The things I be hearing, and I'm not talking about anybody in specific. I'm not talking about people that may be reading these things. I'm talking about the people who have this idea in their mind that I'm going to do this to get this person to do that. Everybody's gone. I'm going to do this particular thing to get this person to act out, or to get this person to do that, or to get this person to do that. That's just so silly. I mean, I know there is a thing as stoicism, but not everybody's a stoic. And there's a whole philosophy that goes behind that. Not just their, stone face. It's not what that is. So that's just silly. But back to what I was saying. Only an evil bitch will actually make a profile to harass someone who's doing their work because you're mad. I haven't talked to you, honey, in 9 years. I keep saying this over and over again, but yet you still follow the footsteps. You watch me like a hawk. You be astral projecting all over the place in the privacy of my home. Everywhere I go. This is like the third place I've lived in. I've talked to you. Only an evil bitch would lie about someone, would hang out with a person, which you did, to do black magic on them, to read all of their privacy, all of their journals, go through all of their business, pretend to be their friend, pretend to like them, so that they could go around and tell everybody their business, or exaggerate it, or twist it, or just lie about it. Only an evil bitch would do that. That's what you did to me. And I know you've done it to other people as well. I'm not the only person you've done that shit to. I just sit there and think sometimes about the things that you would say to me about people, and now I'm just sitting up there wondering, she's probably doing that shit to them too. That's what an evil bitch does. Only an evil bitch would get gangs of people that person knows. When who that evil bitch is targeting, that that person knows and doesn't know. People that they don't know. Slander them to high heaven. Tell them that you would pay them to help you slander them to high heaven, okay, to destroy their life so that you could be them. Only an evil bitch would do that. That's what you did. So I don't know. Did you come to the realization that you're the evil bitch? Or were you simply trying to fuck with me? Because I know clearly who I am. And I'm not an evil bitch. You are. You just proved it a few minutes ago. Only an evil bitch would sit up there and pretend to like somebody, be in their face all the time, 24/7, calling them 24/7. Pretending to like them, asking them all kind of help me questions, and then turn around, leave their home from where they eat and sleep and where that person has opened their whole door to them and slander them all over town, and then sit up there and try to take the destiny swap and take their life. Only an evil bitch would do that, and that's what you did to me. You are right. You are an evil bitch. In all caps. And you're mad. I remember you used to say, I don't get mad. Well, then you're not normal. And you have proven that you're not. Only an evil bitch would get somebody online that somebody is talking to, the person they're targeting is talking to, forming some kind of bond with and friendship with, to get them to get on board your hate train and target that person to the point where now that person just can't stop with all their lies and bullshit. And you done did something to her. Fuck with her head. Only an evil bitch would do that. You're an evil bitch. Only an evil bitch would sit up there and fuck around with somebody's ex, who I happened to see the other day. I was sitting at the light. For those of you who are from here, you know Warrensville Center Road is a shit show right now. With all the construction and shit. But they getting it done. They are getting it done. And I was sitting at the light at one of the side streets waiting to turn, and I saw someone walking, and I don't know, the outfit that the person had on just got my attention. I was just looking at them. And it took me a minute, and then I realized, oh, hey, that's the ex right there. And then we would both look at each other, and then I think when he realized it was me, you know, he just turned his head and kept on walking. I was like, oh, wow, look at there. And that was the end of that. Only an evil bitch would sit up there and be so jealous of somebody, pretend to be their friend, pretend to like them, always in their face, 24/7, and then be sucking their boyfriend's dick in the background. Only an evil bitch would do that. That's exactly what you did. You're an evil bitch. You're right. You're an evil bitch. I'll show y'all the profile because it's a screenshot of it. Only an evil bitch would set somebody up to the point where they wanted to try to destroy their whole life and whole being to be them. Only, what's that destiny swap and shit like I was just saying. Only an evil bitch would do that. You're right. You are an evil bitch. And you keep coming around with your evil bitchiness. Only an evil bitch would sit up there and do all kind of black magic witchcraft on somebody that they was in their face 24/7, pretending to like, so on and so forth. Get groups, get family members, all type of shit. Okay, to destroy that person. To try to and unalive that person as well, which is what you did. Which is what you did. And wipe them off the face of the earth. You and your crazy mama. Okay, and I don't know, your little silly ass cousins. You're right, you're an evil bitch. And here we are, 9 years later, and you're still attacking and harassing with your black magic and whatever else silly ass things you can do. It's just weird, you know. People have to see that kind of stuff and deal with that shit. That is just really, really strange. But I guess like they said, one little monkey and her little other flying monkeys don't stop no show. Now see how I'm addressing this issue and I'm doing something here? I'm multitasking. Now, one thing that I realize is there's no reason for a random stranger, or maybe I took a screenshot of it on my other phone. There's no reason for a random stranger to hit like and unlike like that quick. There's no reason. It's not logical. They wouldn't do it. For what? So here's the silly assness again. Only an evil bitch would sit up there and try to destroy somebody to the point of them, losing their job, wanting the bitch to be homeless, again, trying to take their life, all of that crazy ass shit that you have done to me. Only an evil bitch would do that. And that's exactly what you have done to me. And I don't know why Pissies keep hanging on. Oh, that's right. He owed somebody based off of the lie you told him. And the thing about it is you just straight lied to those people. You're trying to hold up the lie. You got them people in all kind of shit and trouble. I don't know what, did somebody see the Leo reading and say something to you like, bitch, that's you. Bitch. I didn't say it was. I just do a reading. Maybe they did and you're mad because of your own actions. You're not mad at me. You're mad at yourself for being a jealous, evil bitch. I don't have nothing to do with that. Let's see, is that what happened? Is that what happened with the Leo reading? Somebody saw it and told her that was her. There's quite a few thumbs up for such a small channel. When I normally don't get that. Now, you're not mad at me. You're mad at yourself. You did some bullshit you shouldn't have done based off of jealousy. I did a whole video, what was it, last year I think, or the year before last, reading all them scriptures in the Bible about jealousy. Oh, but that's right. You know more than God, the ancient texts. You more powerful than that, and you got more wisdom than all of that. And how deadly jealousy is. People be out here killing each other because they're jealous of them. That's a very, very powerful demonic energy. It's a stronghold. And instead of trying to do something to heal yourself of your jealousy, because I'm not the only person that you're jealous of, you just keep doubling down and hurting yourself all the more. So I was like, one of the things that I find kind of funny too is like, I don't get this whole thing about people, these people that they target, how they question their livelihood. Like, you know, where they get the money from to do this or where they get the money from to do that. First of all, it's none of your fucking business where anybody gets anything from to do anything, number one. But number two, ain't there such a thing as called jobs? Don't they pay? Don't they pay people money? I mean, like, how do you know what a person's expenses are? How do you know how much they're getting paid? And I mean, what is in your mind that makes you think it's okay for you to question a person's livelihood and how they can pay their bills? I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Or buy themselves a vehicle or pay their mortgage or pay their rent or buy clothes. I don't. These are normal things. That's what a job is for. There's jobs, there's side hustles people have, there's business, they can start their own business. There's all types of ways to make money legitimately. I mean, you gotta be really in a state of mind of poorness. I mean, just really poor-minded to question someone how they have money to have the basic things in life. Huh? I'm doing a live. You okay? You gotta be real. You gotta be real poverty stricken. I mean mentally. I ain't talking about. I mean like to make that part of the targeting. I don't get it. Like, people got jobs. What the fuck are people talking about? They got, like, again, jobs. They got side hustles. They got people, entrepreneurs. They got all kinds, especially nowadays with the phone, the cell phone, and all the apps. It's all kind of ways. They got Uber. They got Lyft. They got the ride shares. They got people who I don't know what the app is called. They go shopping for people. They go buy their groceries. They go buy their food. I mean, you know, they stuff from the whatever kind of shopping they want to do, from the drugstore. They got all kind of shit out there. I don't get it. They got, like, I'm on the Psychic app. They got all kind of apps you can get on. They got venting apps where you can just get on there and people can call in and vent to your motherfucking. I mean, I just don't understand. And they still got jobs. What are you talking about? How they got money to buy clothes? Fuck are you talking? And why are you? How do you know they? You mean, how are you that focused on somebody that you know what's new in terms of their clothes? You watch them like that? Bitch, I know you was read all in my closet, all in my shit. But how? They got all kind of ways to get vehicles now. You can have good credit, no credit, bad credit, any kind of credit. Goddamn, it's some car dealership out there. You can this bankruptcy, 5 bankruptcy, chapter 11, chapter 22, whatever. They got all kind of car dealerships out there nowadays that will work with you to get whatever you want. Well, how they keep paying the car payment? How do you keep paying yours? What do you do? You work? Because that's what I heard. I work. Okay, so that's called normal. That's just a common everyday thing. They done had jobs out here for millennia now. It's not a new phenomenon. How they moving to that place? Where they get the money from? None of your fucking business. How much they make? None of your business. What are you talking about? It's called working, earning a living. And I'm talking about legitimate. Everybody, I mean, where is this thing where people's mind goes into this thing of assuming that people are doing something illegal to make money? I mean, that is so backwards. It's just, I can't really say barbaric. It's just backwards. It's silly. Why are you concerned and worried? And then create narratives and lies about the person because you're jealous of their fucking ass because they got a new shirt on. Or they got a new vehicle. None of your business. It's ridiculous. But back to the evil bitch shit. Only an evil bitch would do everything that you've done to me. So, if you, I don't know, maybe, like I said, you came to the realization that you are actually an evil bitch. Instead of you trying to put that off on me, which I'm not. You lying about me all over town. To people I introduced you to. But you didn't know shit about. It wouldn't have. If you hadn't been around me. I'm going to tell them. She ain't shit. I'm telling them how evil and bad she is. Let me make up some shit because the bitch ain't did shit. But you have. Your nasty, rotten little life. I'm making some waist beads. I used to sit there and I was straining waist beads, little bead by little teeny tiny bead by little teeny tiny bead by little teeny tiny bead with some stretch cord. These eyes cannot do that anymore, okay? So, I got a waist bead. Well, it's not a waist bead. I mean, it's a bead machine thing. I don't know. I forgot what it's called. But when I used to make them, the lady at the bead store I used to go to, she told me about this machine here. But I didn't do it. Because I just didn't buy it. I liked making them the way I was making them at the time. Not now. Ain't no way in hell. Okay. I would sit there and do that like I did back then. And I actually enjoy it. It's kind of relaxing. Like, so I'm not, lady who raised me, she was a seamstress. Okay, she used to make wedding dresses, and she used to, she actually would sew the little sequins and stuff on stuff by hand, you know. I just could never figure out, I just couldn't take to sewing. I was like, it's just not in me. I just don't, it wasn't that I didn't like it. I didn't like the pattern. And she used to make patterns, actually, which I thought was like, wow, back then, when she told me she used to make patterns. I used to think, wow, you know, because I would look at the patterns, and I felt that they were so just complex and intricate and detailed, and then they had stuff on the pattern. I didn't ever like work with them patterns. They had stuff on the pattern, have you doing all this extra stuff, okay? Do this. And you sew it up a little bit, and then, okay, take that part out. And I was like, okay, I didn't need to do it in the first place. But I guess in a way you did, because maybe, you know, it will hold something back while you had to work on another part, whatever. But I just didn't take. Now my daughter, oh my gosh, my daughter, she's just like a seriously old soul. So I went out of town one time to go stay with one of her nieces who asked me to come down there and stay with her in Atlanta to watch her daughter. It was just a whole fucking waste of time. I hope you're watching, bitch. But anyway, because it was some foul shit you had going on. But anyway, that y'all thought y'all was gonna have me trapped up in. I guess that's when they were having their meetings on me. But anyway, I was gone for 2.5 months. Was it 2.5? It was, yeah, it was too long. It was just, I think I talked about this before. It was just the most depressing environment. But anyway, I come back because my daughter stayed with the lady who raised me. The girl was baking from scratch. She was sewing. Okay. And so, sorry about that. The wind blew my bottle over. I get it. But anyway, I got my windows open. It feels so good. The air feels so good. But anyway, so I get home. I'm sitting on the couch. Lady Raisby comes to me and gives me a pillowcase. And I was like, oh, thank you. Well, I should give you a pillowcase, but okay, thank you. And I thought she bought it from the store. And she looked at me. She said, your daughter made that. I said, she made this? And she said, yeah, I'm telling you, it was like perfect stitching. Like, you have to iron it down and then you stitch it. I mean, everything, where she folded and ironed it, it was all perfect. I mean, it was perfectly even. It wasn't stuff out of uneven. The stitching was just like immaculate, right? I'm telling you, it looked like it came from the store, the department store, okay? And I was like, I can't believe she did this. So I was like, this is like perfect. She was like, I know. So I'm thinking, I said to her, she got the sewing thing from you, because this is when I still thought the lady was my birth mother. And she would, when I would say things like that, she would just kind of look at me and smile. She never really confirmed it, like, yeah. she just looked at me like, yeah, she didn't want, I guess, whatever. But anyway, so she had her in a sewing class. And this knows my daughter, man. She got it in her room somewhere. But I kept the pillowcase. Got a little purse she made. It's in my closet. I'm not gonna get up to get it. But anyway, the lady in the sewing class, because I would take her sometimes, and sometimes all three of us would go together, and go pick her up and everything. And the lady, she was like, she said, this girl, she said her sewing is like just perfect. And I was like, I know, oh my gosh, And the lady was like, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. She said, I have never seen anybody, work the way she does with her hands at such a young age, especially just starting, And I remember when my daughter was maybe she was about 3 or 4. I think maybe she was about 3. There was these meetings I used to go to. Everybody's always talking about the sovereign stuff now, and that the Moors would teach about back in the day, right? So I used to go to those meetings, right? And one of the guys who invited me, he was an older guy. He was a musician, and my daughter would sit there and color. Now I had got my daughter this coloring book called. Was it called The Pyramid or something like that? I can't remember, but it was a coloring book, made for black children. And there were 2 children in the book. They were black. My daughter, he tapped my shoulder. He said, look, because she was sitting there coloring it. She had colored the black kids pink, and their hair was yellow. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, where is she getting this from? But anyway, and we both had a good laugh about that. But anyway, he told me he used to watch her because she would go to the meetings with me, and she'd be just doodling and doing stuff, coloring everything. And he told me, he said, look at her hands. And I was like, well, you know what? He said, she's got the perfect hands, the way she uses her hands, perfect hands to be a musician, And so she signed up for piano, and she played piano from the age of 5 or 6 to the age of 16. And she would have to go to recitals and stuff. She was always nervous and scared to do the recitals, to go to recitals. But anyway, she would have to go to Cleveland State in I think that was March because it was toward the end of the year, and they would have this. She would have to go before judges and play a couple of pieces. And the first time she did it, she was only like 5, and of course, as a parent, I couldn't go in with her, and I was really like nervous, like she's just 5. You know what I'm saying? She's like going there by herself, and they have to greet them a certain way and talk about what piece they were going to play a particular way. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's going to forget and whatnot. And they had it so you couldn't really look in. They had just a little glass at the top of the door, and they had it covered up. I was so nervous and scared, for her by going in by herself. I was like, oh, she's going to mess up. She's going to be scared. Blah blah blah. Every year, I think her last year, she wasn't doing as well. Every year though that she did it, she would get like this superior rating. I was so proud of her. And I asked her, was she nervous? And she said she would be nervous going in. But she did it. I think she got a little weary, a little tired her last year. She still did good, but she didn't get her last year. She didn't get the superior rating, but she was getting a superior rating every year. It was a lot. She went, for people who are familiar with the Cleveland area, she played at the Cleveland Music Settlement. Her piano teacher, she made the parents sit in on the piano lesson. We couldn't leave, okay? As we got to know her, though, as she got to know the parents and everything, there was some days I would be so sleepy, I would just be like, I'm going to sit in the car. And she would be like, fine. But that was like years after she had been in there, playing for so long. And Cleveland Music Settlement wasn't far from where I lived, because I lived in the Glenville area. And it's like, not far from there at all. It was just doing it all year, all school year, 9 months out of the year, every week. Especially in the wintertime, because, like when she first started playing, she would go on Saturday mornings for her lesson. So that was okay. But then, sometimes the piano teacher would change their schedule, and it would be like Thursday at 6, you know what I'm saying, or 7, which, in the wintertime, it's like, you kind of want to hibernate in. I'm done working for the day, I want to go home. And her piano teacher was the type, like, she was so into it. She was just loved teaching, okay? She would hold us there sometimes. Say her lesson was like 30 minutes. We'd be there 45 minutes, and I'd be like, listen, we gotta go. Okay? Because she would go on and on and on and on. But I'm thankful my daughter got that experience. But at the end of the year, every year, they would have this big recital. I mean, they would have recitals all year long, okay? But at the end of every year, she had this big recital. It was really long. She would honor the students that were graduating from high school. My daughter had to make all the students had to make a big poster about, they had to play 2 songs, one for the recital, and then at the end of the recital, afterwards, we had, they would have a little, like, a party in the back. I mean, just, all kind of cakes and good food, you know what I'm saying, the parents had to make. And so she had to learn the song for the recital, and then she had to learn the party song. Okay? So, it was like it could be really draining, on the parents. And I ran into one of the parents one time in Whole Foods, and at the time, I was like, man, your face is so familiar. She said, you too. And then we both said, oh, I said, yeah. And she was from, her family was from, I believe the Middle East somewhere. I just can't remember where. And she told me, she said, I'm just so sick and tired of going to the lessons all the time. I was like, oh my God, I thought it was just me. She said, all the recitals, it was just so funny because I really thought it was just me. And she had 3 children. So she had her 2 oldest ones, okay, so she had to be there like a lot more than I did. And then her youngest one, she was the cutest little thing. Then she started playing. So then she had 3 little ones, so that was a lot of running and a lot of lessons and a lot of practice at home and blah, blah, blah. And at first, early on in the in her lessons. Like I said, her piano teacher wanted us to sit in the room with her. So I did. We kind of had to learn. She wanted me to learn some of the basics, and I'm like, okay, okay. And I had played piano when I was younger, but I never played to the extent my daughter did. So some of the stuff I remembered, because I played piano, I played the flute, I played the trumpet when I was in high school. Was that it? And I played the saxophone. Okay, so the basic, uh, you know, theory or whatever I knew. In the notes and everything. But my daughter, of course, was playing like long classical pieces. Okay, but she wanted us to learn because she wanted us to be able to, when they practiced at home, she wanted us to be able to, help them along, if they were making mistakes. And sometimes, every year she would have them partner up with somebody, where the two would play a piece together. So we had to learn the other person's piece so that when she practiced at home, okay, I would be able to play with her, okay. But the more advanced she got, I would cut that out. You just play your part, okay, because it became a lot more advanced. But again, she played from the age of 5 to 16. So that was like 11 years. And so she did play the piano. And when I ran for my life from these people that I'm telling you about, quote unquote family, because they were trying to do me in, I moved out of my my grandparents' house. And where I moved to, listen, it was a nice area. It was in Cleveland Heights, Euclid Heights Boulevard. The rent was super cheap, okay. For a 3-bedroom. She was only charging like $7.98 or something like that. And I couldn't pass it by because I had money, a big lump sum here. I can give this all to you now. And but she would not let me bring the piano. She wouldn't let me bring the piano. And my daughter, I was like, oh, what are we going to do, and because it was a transition, a huge life change for both of us. And actually, it was okay. She didn't continue on after that, she didn't have a piano to play. And she wouldn't let us bring it because the lady who owned the house, her son and a friend of his, or I guess you could say a peer or colleague, they were students at Case. And her son did her son have a double major? He was going to medical school and something else he was studying. I can't remember. And then a guy above me, he was in medical school. So she really didn't want them to be disturbed by it. And at the time, like I said, I was running for my life. These people had sent hitmen in my house and all this type of shit. They knew where I lived, was doing all that black magic, throwing the dead animals around my house and nails in my driveway and all of this kind of crazy. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And the lady who raised me, who I thought was my mom, I'm telling her, and she telling me, I was like, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm out. Y'all do what you want to do. Okay, you do what the hell you want to do. All right, like I said, I've been seeing y'all since I was about the age of 2. I knew something was up. All right, and but it was just kind of like I said, when I was very small, I remember looking at them and like, I'm leaving these people one day. I'm getting away from these people one day. Like I said, I was very small. And long before Bleedin Z was ever a thought, and return to sender on your fucking ass with your candles or whatever the fuck it is you're doing. But I was just like, I'm out of here. And it was okay. You know what I'm saying? Now, her teacher was very, very, very disappointed, that she was not going to come back. But I was like, it's okay, I don't think, my daughter was slightly disappointed, but not super disappointed, because I think she was a little burnt out. See, they would have, the schedule would be like a school schedule. So we would start in August and end in, what was it, June. But then they had, 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks during the summer. And her first 2 or 3 years I did that, but after that I was like, I'm not, no, no, no. And the lady who raised me was like, why not? And her teacher was like, why not? Because she needs a break. She needs a break. She'll be back. Oh Lord, I done got this caught up in here. She will be back, when, but no, we're not running my child ragged all year long. Just like she get a break from school, she can get a little small summer break from this. Okay, I done missed this one. She can get a little small break from this, and but nevertheless, I think my daughter was a little burnt out. And given the situation, I didn't want nobody asking me no questions. What's going on? What's happening? None of your business, okay? And knowing that the lady who raised me probably was calling up line and saying all kind of stuff too. So I was just like, no, we're done. And the baking. So, like I said, when I came back from being in Atlanta for 2.5 months on the BS, my daughter was baking. Lady who raised me was taught her how to bake from scratch. And they always told me that, who was it? Her brother told me that the lady who raised me was an excellent cook. Excellent cook. Well, not that she didn't cook she did. I remember when I was very young, she cooked all the time. We would, she would cook full meals. She made the best pork chop. Oh my God, she made the best. I used to love her pork chops, and I used to really love fried chicken, and I still do. Good home cooked fried chicken. I really do. But I mean, I'm not big on I'll go, but stuff like Popeyes and all that kind of stuff. And and even for the people that are from here, like Dave's and stuff, it's like, okay, it's good. It just ain't, I like that home, down home, cooked fried chicken. But anyway, but as time went on and she was working a lot more, she wasn't able to really cook like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Until like my sibling, my brother, he went away to school and it was just me and her. Then her time was kind of freed up more because he played sports all the time in school. And, so he was always, and we didn't go to school anywhere close. It was a drive. It was a nice little drive. So, instead of us leaving at 3 o'clock, he's in his practice or whatever for school, we're leaving like at 4:30, 5 o'clock or whatever, and then she worked at night. So we spent a lot of years fast fooding it, okay. And me and her used to joke how she's like, it was no wonder we lived through that period of time with all that fast food we were eating. I'm telling you, it was like every day. But she was burnt out, and so she because she worked during the day while we were in school, and then she was my pastor's secretary, so she was working during the day while we were in school, and then we get home, she slept for a few hours, and then she would go to work. Like, she was a nurse. She worked at Cleveland Clinic, like from 11 to 7. So he was tired. But when he went away to school, it was just me and her, so she started cooking again. But at that time, she wasn't cooking the same way because, she had changed her diet. I don't know. The doctor told her something had happened to her, something like that. So, and both of us was always, gotta lose weight. So, but it was still good. She was a good cook, But anyway, so she had my daughter baking from scratch to the point where, and the girl is so excellent. She's just a good fucking cook. To the point where my daughter, we were sitting around watching TV. It's 7 o'clock at night, and she looked at me like, I want to go make a lemon cake. Now, I'm not a baker. And I'm thinking, well, I don't think we have everything in there. She go in the kitchen and start baking. And I'm like, we got everything? And she like, yeah. She zesting the lemons and all that kind of stuff. Now, one thing that I think got her stumped one time was a red velvet cake. And that's when we were in that new house. The oven was a little different than the one we had, my grandmother's house. So she kind of struggled with that one a little bit. I think she made the cake like about over like 3 times. And she's somewhat of a perfectionist, okay? It was good, but it was good though, you know. But I don't think she was very happy with it. But she made the bomb lemon cake, and she's been making cookies. This keeps knotting up. She made, but doesn't go through. She made a brownie cookie or some shit like that. It was really good. Chocolate chip. I used to, when I was subbing. I was subbing at one of the schools. I was what was I? A building sub, and I would sell them, you know, to the teachers and stuff. She made chocolate chip. She made oatmeal raisin. I don't think she ever made no sugar cookie. I can't remember what the third one was. And brownies. She loves making brownies, you know. So like she went to culinary school, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. Because she was like, it took the fun out of being in the kitchen. You know, it's just like military style. You know, and I've heard other people who say that to me, who've gone to culinary school. Like, it really does kind of take the fun out of it. You know, it's so regimented. But anyway, yeah, so she just got a knack for that. And that was another thing. I said to Lady Raised, oh, she got that from you. And she, like, no, she didn't. I remember, like, when she was born, I have a picture of her holding her, and I said, oh my gosh, she looks so much like you. And I really thought she looked like her, you know, but that's that, you know, we can't see in veil and the magic and the illusion they done cast it on you. And she would say, no, she don't. And I was like, you don't think she looks like you? I think she looks like you. She was like, she don't look like me. And I just said, okay. But she looks a lot like her dad. She looks just like her dad. But I do see my face, you know, and like periodically, like I look at old pictures of me and whatnot. Sometimes I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Gaia. You know. But anyway, and she's just an excellent cook. Not just baking. She's just an excellent cook. I mean, my God, she makes some eggs. I'm like, oh my God, these eggs are, what did you do? She's like, I make them the same way you make them. Like, no, you don't. She's just got like, I don't know, magic in her hands, you know. But anyway, and it's only an evil bitch who would lie about a child to motherfuckers to make me look like a bad parent. Only an evil bitch. You, Miss Zarita. Okay? What time is it? How long I've been on here? 55 minutes. All right. Well, that's about the end of that. I took the screenshot on the device I'm looking at, so I can't really show it to you. Maybe I'll make it a thumbnail. All right. But she's an excellent cook. She just got, it's like grandma's hands. Remember that song, Grandma's Hands? Dun, 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 dun. I don't know the words. Grandma's hands. That's my daughter. Grandma's hands, honey. Old soul. All right. And she's just like, it ain't all that. And it's like, yes, it is. Okay. Even her friend, she cooks for, and it's like, this is really good. This is really the bomb. I watch her in the kitchen sometimes when she's in there, and it's just the way that she handles herself in the kitchen. I really believe that she may have gotten that from her father's mother or grandmother. He's told me about his grandmother and how he said he used to tell me he never met a woman as strong as his grandmother, his mother's mother. And she was a seamstress. He told me that she sewed. I don't know if she was a seamstress, but he said that she, sewed and was a really good cook and everything. And the way he described her, I'm like, she probably got that. Because his genes are like super strong in her. Super strong. And she's not built like me at all. She built just like her father's people. I mean, she looks just like them. You know what I'm saying? Looks just like her dad. Like he just like spit her out. But I think she has probably more of my personality and then her own. You know, she's her own person. I remember like his sister, when I was pregnant, his sister said that girl, that baby gonna come out sitting down somewhere with some glasses on reading the paper. And he laughed, and I'm like, she was very, very, very smart girl. Just like I would love to tell some stories here about her when she was a baby, some shit she did that was frightening. Like, okay, she definitely has been here before. All right. Um, I'll just tell the couple stories. Like one time, she was really small, about 3 or 4 years old, because I had just moved to my grandmother's house. And my knees, I was having problems with my knees really, really bad. Like to the point where I was crawling up the steps. They were hurting me so bad. Like if I took just a step up on the curve, I would like buckle. And it's like, what is going on with my knees? And she said to me one time, she was, like I said, about 3 or 4, she said, it may be about 4, she said, do your knees hurt because when you were a baby and I was your mother, I took you to the playground and you were on the swing and you fell on your knees. She said that story to me like word for word about 3 or 4 times. And I was talking to a friend of mine, he's a spiritualist, and we were just talking, he was talking about my daughter. He said, yeah, like when she was your mother. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was like, I told him that story when she said, when you were a baby and I was your mother. Sometimes I'm just like, I feel like my daughter came to earth to be with me. Period. That's just it. That's the only reason I'm here, just to be with you, goddamn. My daughter, I remember one time she was about 8 years old or 9 or something, and we were talking about something, and she was like, this miserable world. And I'm like, oh no, why are you saying that? You're just too young to be saying that. And she's like, yeah. She didn't say it. It's probably her attitude was, I've been here before. I know what this shit is. Like she never liked school. It's just like her attitude was always like, I don't want to do this, but I have to do it. Like school, just like the basics, the everyday, the little trauma that they put children through school. Okay. Never liked school. She never liked it. Always did very well in school, but she never liked it. And I think the only time she liked it was when she was in preschool. And I remember she was in kindergarten. I go to pick her up. And, the shit starts so early. So she's telling me about her 2 little friends. And she said, well, I can't remember their names. We'll call them Kimmy and Joanne or some shit. And she wanted to play with Kimmy and Joanne. But Kimmy and Joanne and the other little hangers-on, they didn't like each other. And she was so cute. She said, Mommy, I told them we can all be friends. And I thought that was so sweet and so true and pure. And we can all be friends. But no, the shit start when they're young, because that's what the adults around them are doing, the bullshit. Like the evil bitch, Zarita, who keeps wanting to harass me because you didn't get your way with trying to control me in my life and continue to siphon off of me. And I didn't fall down to death and damnation and destruction because you went all over town lying about me to steal from me and be me. Ridiculous. We can all be friends. It was so sweet. But anyway, and it's a goddamn shame. I was telling somebody the other day, I was one of those people who, I remember like in my college years, some of my adult years too, where I would find out that, the people that I would spend time with most of the time, the commonality was me. Come to find out, these few over here didn't like these few over here. I love we were always hanging out together, yeah, but it's because they like you. You're the friend. They don't like each other. Okay? I like people. I like everybody. Okay, what you get? Oh, okay. I'm always have fun. Laughter, light, freedom, not be bound by no bullshit. Despite what a liar has said about me, who I open my doors to. But you know what? One time, I was talking to somebody, a guy, and I was gonna do the typical things that I do when I like a guy, and I really, really, really like a guy. Okay, nice, sweet shit that I do, like I do with everybody, despite this lying ass heifer, Zarita, and who I open my doors to. Bitches, come on in, eat my food, sit, do whatever you want to do. So you calling me an evil bitch, honey? If you think that I'm going to, that's going to absorb back, think again. But anyway, I wasn't going to do the nice little things that I normally do for him, because I had done it for someone and they just took advantage of it, kind of hurt my feelings. And it's just like I heard in my spirit, just as loud as the day is long. Don't stop being yourself because somebody else is a fool. All right. All right. All right, God. The good Lord shared that with me. Because who I am and who I've been made to be, it don't have nothing to do with you, little Miss Thing, Pissies, or nobody else. Are you kidding me? Get a life and stop being an evil bitch to people, and life will go a lot better for you. Alright. Anyway, I'll share more stories about my daughter another time. And as I said, it's a goddamn shame that her father had to get involved with the bullshit. And I told him, don't get involved. But you did too. Money that y'all wasn't going to do nothing with. But buy your records. Like Elvis said about the black people. Buy your records and shine your shoes. Because that's what you was going to do. All right, I'm running out of time. You all have favor. Peace. I don't know why this does this sometimes. It won't end when I hit the end button.